from Seoul, Korea, and welcome back to the GSTL.
Yep.
I've said GSL so many times, Cassidy here almost didn't get it out right. We already saw a complete one-sided domination. BoYu got manhandled by Team Start, actually just by Squirtle.
Yeah,
we didn't get to see what happened with the rest of the team. But definitely educational PBTs. Check those out if you can. Here is our next and final clan war here.
It's going to be Prime against TSL, two juggernaut teams.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, much more interesting than our previous one.
I'm actually pretty stoked for this one, and it looks like
we got a rep there in the middle, and they've. Well, I mean, we're going to get started in a little bit. They're going to go to their respective seats.
That's interesting that right there, Kisu was acting in for the leader of the team. Of course, the Prime leader there, Gerard, acts as the leader in the studio normally.
He's normally the boss.
But,
he's the alpha nerd.
Yeah, Coach Lee, not here today. So
I think this is the first time we've not seen Coach Lee today. So we hope he's doing well. Very friendly guy.
I hope so. Yeah. Now here's the thing. Prime is pretty solid. Mostly old Warcraft 3 players, but of course they have Marine King, who is an amazing player himself. Now, if you look at TSL, these are actually like big names, not just a solid team, but big names. We have Songho, who's now a killer. We have Kisu, used to be Tester. We have
the fruit dealer.
Yeah. We have TSL Rain, who's not doing so well recently, but he's
got a big reputation, though.
Yeah.
I mean, second place in Season 3.
There are solid players in TSL, and of course Prime as well, but TSL, it's like actually names that you want to see. Like, you actually are like, oh, Kisu's playing tonight. Of course I'm going to watch it.
I mean,
whereas
Prime is pretty
Maka's
good.
playing tonight. Yeah, that's cool, but
Maka's a good player, but at the same time, I mean, you look at somebody like I guess
He's
Marine,
on a
we can't ignore Marine King Prime.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
he's
true.
a
They
star
have
player
one.
on their team. But I don't know. I mean, it's not even like OGS where they got MVP and Nada and stuff like that. The other Prime players are good. They're solid, but they're sort of outshined by Marine King.
Oh, certainly.
So this will be interesting. Now, Marine King, I think he played very well in the finals, even though he lost. It was actually 4-0.
He got solved, man.
But yeah, he was solved. That's a good way to put it.
And here's the thing.
That was like some Sixth Sense ending where it was like, he was like, oh, I can't base trade. And it was like, nah. Hold that thought, guys. We're going to get a team intro here for you. Enjoy.
And here we have
Check Prime. Oh, so handsome.
Maka Prime. Hongun Prime. Any Pro Prime.
Thumbs up, no thumbs down.
And
Marine King. That is Bolt Prime, of course.
Just made things for us, by the way. And Bong Bong
Prime.
I guess Bong Bong's in there. And then the Prime coach. That is Gerard. For any of you who remember his Banelings from the beta, did Banelings basically every single game.
Banelings, baby. So, the Prime team, a little bit of history about these guys. As you can see, their Codes lineup, I almost forgot to mention this guy, Hongun, a little bit overprimed by people, overshined, not overprimed, overshined by people like
he's
MC.
Very shiny.
You know, he's a solid Protoss.
Yeah, he's done well so far.
Yeah, any Pro Check and Poltrol good, but I think they're just a little bit of a league behind.
They are. I would
some
say
of these other guys.
Polt is their worst Codes guy. In fact, I would put Loner and Maka over him skill-wise normally.
And, of course, Loner, a member of Team Prime, the best player in China. We're so happy to have him out here in Korea.
That's right.
Yep. So it's a very exciting day here today to have these two teams facing off. And there is Marine King. Marine King was making his poopy face and then saw himself in the camera. Started cracking up. So, as we said before, a lot of people showing up here. Team League pretty popular. Now here's the team which I would have to say is not the underdog in this case.
No, this is
a pretty scary team.
This team could be poised to even win the whole tournament.
It's possible.
Let's take a look at their roster.
TSL.
We are going to have Soki Su, Fruit Dealer, and Rain. Then we have
Boo, just getting dressed there. And Killer, who's known as hold that thought. And we have Clyde. Look out, Clyde's there.
And Alive. That guy used to be Alive BoYu. And there's Coach Lee, but he's not here today.
There's the coach.
He looks so cool.
I don't know what to say when I see that picture.
Used to be known as Oops Lee.
All right, so TSL, the SCB Life. As you can see, their players at Code S. Clyde, he's a great player. Artos and me predicted him to win many tournaments before. We were wrong, but he's still produced solid games. Fruit Dealer and Trickster known as Silky Sue, also known as Tester. And, of course, their Code A players. Nothing to be ashamed about there. Alive, Killer, and Rain.
Known as Sungho.
Yeah.
Solid lineup, Tasteless.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is going to be an exciting match. I doubt it's going to be a 4-0, but you never know. I was totally caught off guard by our
you never know.
series.
If they put Clyde in first, it certainly could be a 4-0.
That's true. Clyde could 4-0 this.
Clyde, the perfect human.
Perfect player. Fruit Dealer over there on the right.
I'm interested that
Champion of Season 1.
Alive has switched over to TSL from Foyu.
They grabbed one of their players over. This happens.
They did.
You know?
Scooped him up. Doesn't happen too often, but it's been happening.
Well, Coach Lee is pretty much such a solid
He's a legend.
Professional coach.
He's a legendary
big deal
coach.
In StarCraft 1 and then StarCraft 2. He was an amazing StarCraft 1 player.
He was a pro gamer, in fact, a great pro gamer. Oops Lee, for those of
Oops
you
Lee.
who've been around long enough to actually know that idea,
Old
which is
like
probably
us.
about 7 of you by now.
Yeah. You'd have to be playing StarCraft for about 10 years,
Watching
9 years.
pro gaming for probably at least 8 years to remember Oops Lee.
So we're getting old.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to see who the players are that we pick first. We don't know who they are. Artos and me don't know. We don't have the sheets. The would be on the sheets. It's not here.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out. And I have no idea. Ooh. So we do know so far, I've just been informed, the decision's been made. Soki Sue, Trickster, but we will refer to him as Soki Sue because he changes his name too often.
It's Sagisu, which is a play on his name.
Sagisu is the name of his, so we're just going to call him Soki Sue in this cast. The Protoss player, a lot of them were saying, especially in Season 2, he was the best Protoss out there.
You know, he's definitely been one of the best players in the world for a very long time.
He's very good.
Yeah, when you watch him play, you're actually like, oh, wow, how did he miss GSLs? How does he get knocked out?
Yeah, there's been some upsets where he hasn't even made
solid.
it.
But it's going to be
64.
against Hongun. And Soki Sue's weakest matchup, his best is PvZ, but his worst, I would say, is PvP.
You know what? It doesn't shock me at all that Hongun was picked first by Prime. That guy's good. He's got a crazy style, so he could take some games off the other guys. And
with his blink stalkers.
With his blinking stalkers. And, I think that's a good way to start out the series with people that are unpredictable, kind of like our random player. And, of course, you get a good, solid Terran like Soki Sue. Nothing wrong with that either. All right. HongunPrime.we.
Made to the round of 32 last season. And Hongun, the player who always seems to choose a rival that has no idea why he's been chosen as a rival.
Yes, he does do that.
I wonder who it'll be this season.
I don't know who his rival's going to be this time, but he's always out looking for somebody.
Yeah,
you are my new nemesis. Hongun, I think mostly known for his Blink Stalker style, but he does have some pretty crazy rush builds. He's very, very confident. Well, some would say he's cocky, but I like that. I like personality like that in the games. And you might as well put somebody like that in the first seed. Over here on the TSL side of the group, we have, of course, we have Soki Sue.
Yep, a great Protoss from StarCraft 1. He's the captain of TSL. Was the captain of Eastro in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Longtime player. Made Star Leagues and played in Pro League a trillion times. Really great player.
Sort of well known down here for his square jawline.
Yeah.
Kind of like
very
those rocks that try to fall on Mario when you get close to being under him.
Yeah, he is.
He's a really nice guy. But you live with him.
Lived with him for over a year, Tasteless.
Over a year.
Good buddy of mine.
Good friend of Artos is. Very nice guy whenever I talk to him. So we basically have one kind of wild and crazy, unique style Protoss against, I think, a very solid, refined Protoss. Now, this is, for Soki Sue on the right, his worst matchup. I don't know, does Hongun actually have a worst matchup? I don't feel like, if he does, he certainly doesn't seem to say it because he's so confident with whatever he goes into.
Well, we'll get into that, though. It's time to start, Tasteless.
The countdown's begun. Let's get ready for our first game here between Prime and the TSL here at the GSTL with Tasteless and Artosis. Tastosis, the Casting Archon. And over here in the red, at the bottom left, our first Protoss player.
홍은 Prime Week.
And of course, there was a shot of the Prime team, and now our Prime player hoping to set up some good tempo for this game. Over here in the blue, former StarCraft 1 pro turned StarCraft 2.
TSL 사기수.
Soki Su.
There is our scattered and small TSL team. TSL, very small, teamy feel to it.
Yeah. It's basically one of those elite teams with a bunch of big names on it.
Yeah.
Kind of like Media in StarCraft 1 team.
That's right, man. We didn't have many jobbers on that team.
No
Except
jobbers
for
on
Chunjay,
it.
of course.
No, Chunjay was our mascot back when we were on that. You know, it's fun to commentate these clan wars because, of course, with both Ro8 and me being competitive 1 StarCraft players, we got to compete in online competitive international clan wars all the time. So it's kind of fun to be down here doing this one on a national event here. Well, I guess it's international until we have international players down here too, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, Kisu sending out his probe a little bit later than Hongan. That's going to allow him to have just a slightly better economy. Ever so slightly, and yes, that does make a difference. You don't need to scout too quickly in this matchup, especially on this map. You're not really likely to get proxy gated.
Oh no, you're probably not going to get proxy gated.
Now, Kisu, a lot of this is going to come down to, will he be able to stop the 4 gateway rush? Because as we've seen, he falls to that quite a bit in PvP.
Well, he's trying to stay one step ahead of the curve and basically say, all right, everybody's 4 warp gating. I'm going to do something slightly different. It's kind of tuned to stopping that, but stopping a 4 warp gate rush is tough, man.
Yeah, it's very tough. In fact, if you want to stop a 4 warp gate rush, you either have to go 4 warp gate rush, or you need to rush to 3 very fast and use amazingly good sentry play, and that can only be on small ramped maps. So
yeah,
you have to be oh so careful, Tasteless.
Well said, Ro8.
Well, we will see what these guys go for. Both have been saving up their Chrono Boost. PvP, for those of you who are little noobs at PvP, you only use your first 2 Chrono Boosts on your probes, and everything else is saved for Stalkers. And your Warp Gate upgrade, normally you use only 1 on the Stalkers, the rest on the Warp Gate.
Yeah.
Little fun facts for you guys.
It's important to balance that energy from the Nexus so you can Chrono Boost properly. You know, you can see with bad players, they'll just Chrono Boost anything they're making. Like, oh, to hell with it. I got 25 energy. I'll just Chrono Boost this. But really, you want to be very calculated with how you use those Chrono Boosts.
All right, interesting things have already occurred. Our Prime player, Hongan, has, after he chased the probe out, made a second assimilator. And in fact, he is even going for a Robo. Now,
whoa!
If Kisu actually goes for 4 Warp Gate and executes it correctly, he will kill Hongan.
Now he has to be very careful. Nice save. Now that's Hongan for you. He's got that crazy style of play.
All right, Tasteless, he is going for 4 Warp Gate.
Yep.
His gateway is actually going up just slightly later than you would want to see, because he has made a few extra probes here. It's going to make the Warp Gate rush a little bit slower. Now, Hongan is going to have to do things with sentries that I've never seen done with sentries to actually hold on if Kisu does this rush just right.
And this is one thing I like about Hongan is, you know, his play style is so unique.
It certainly is. He loves to try to, you know, play a little bit against the norm, I guess is the way to say it.
Actually, I think it's probably the best way to say it. Is yeah, you're right. He doesn't want to play standard metagame. He wants to Hongan it up.
And, you know, doing that can oftentimes get you a lot more wins than regularly. Now, Kisu's Warp Gate rush actually isn't a Warp Gate rush. He's going for 4 Warp Gates. Notice Hongan getting 3 up, but Kisu has decided, in fact, to just do a defensive 4 Warp Gate.
And then go to a robotics facility.
No, he hasn't started robotics yet, actually.
No, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong production tab.
Yeah. Now,
but yeah, that's an interesting build he's doing.
Now, the build that Hongan is doing, he's rushing up with 3 Warp Gates to Colossus. And this is going to be most likely a superior build to what Kisu is doing, because he'll have more Colossus. The robotics is simply quicker. Kind of interesting the way this has gone down. You know, Kisu never known for 4 warp gating. Everyone basically on the Korean server does know that this guy wants to play more of an economy game, doesn't want to attack you with 4 warp gates. And Hongan has truly abused that in this game, Tasteless. He's really played against the player. He's got that observer out. He realizes, wow, look how slow your robotics is. I can get an additional Colossus or even 2 out as long as I keep chrono boosting. And that should be enough to actually crush through anything Kisu has if Hongan hits his attack timing and micros well. Yeah, well said. In fact, with Kisu seeing that, he probably should just go immediately into Colossus, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Immediate robotic spec.
So right now, Sokisu in a little bit of a tough position.
Yeah.
And you can see the coaches there, the whole team kind of watching. Big moment. The first game in a team league like this is so important because it gives you such an edge if you win that first game.
Now, Kisu is making an Immortal, chrono boosting that out to try to help pick off any Stalkers and or Colossus. Now, interestingly enough, Hongan is deciding to get the Thermal Lance upgrade. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. But the fact that Hongan's getting Thermal Lance is going to give him slightly less units. We'll have to see if that's going to be enough for Kisu to hold on. My thought is no.
I think it's going to come down to having the Immortal in that exact right spot and hitting the Colossus with it. I think even then, that's not...
You know, the problem is, truly, if you don't go Colossus and you don't go like Void Rays against a Colossus, then suddenly there's just so many Zealots out there with your Colossus that the Zealots tank all the damage and deal a lot, and you can't really micro because, well, your opponent has Colossus.
Yeah.
So this is going to be something oh so difficult for Kisu to actually...
It looks like he's going to go for the back door.
Kisu now getting Thermal Lance himself.
Now, one good thing about this is that at least the expansion won't be under pressure.
So
he won't actually be pushed back to his ramp. This is a much larger area to try to run up the ramp with.
Kisu does have a single Colossus right now. Supplies, 82 for Hongan, 74 for Kisu. The later robotics, the 4th warp gate that isn't being used all that much. And
he's got to get a good concave here.
Yeah. He certainly has to do that. Perfect spreading is going to be important. His sentry is actually going to be somewhat important. He's going to want to use spells very wisely.
Very nice.
Make
Taking
the
a little poke.
Waste time.
Thermal Lance about 75% of the way complete here for Sokisu. Spreading his units out. He's got to have a nice spread. Just taking a little poke there at the Zealots. Every little hit counts. Ouch. The Colossus gets hit.
A lot of damage dealt there.
Uh-oh. He needs to turn around.
He needs to lead with that Immortal if he's going to walk out like that. Got to get that Immortal into range.
Here we go.
Such an important unit here. 2 Colossus versus 3, but there are Thermal Lance. He's taking a ton of damage right now, Tasteless. And here go the Zealots walking in. And this is looking pretty good. 3 Colossus just cutting through Kisu's Zealots.
He needs to use that Immortal to target fire the...
he really, really does.
The Colossus. That's kind of a unit not really being used, period.
Well, it is taking out some of these Stalkers pretty quickly.
There we go. Another shot on that. He does take it out.
Kisu, can he hold Tasteless?
Oh, my God. They just see... Okay, now the Immortal's gone. But it looks like he does have the upper hand right now. And, in fact, Hongan is not turning around in time.
No, he's not. Wow, this is actually going pretty crazy. And even though Kisu's done well so far...
He actually could take out that last Colossus.
Oh, man, if he could get that last Colossus, that would be huge. He's got to spread up his own Colossus as well. Notice he's warping some Stalkers. That's so he can help pick off the Colossus as quickly as possible. Hongan very all in right now.
Note he's chrono boosting out another Immortal right now because he knows if he just gets that extra Immortal with that group. Hold that thought.
He also did get that Observer. Very helpful.
Yeah, very smart there.
Trying to spread out everything as much as he can.
Okay, here comes the Immortal. He might be able to bait his opponent's Colossus into the main. Colossus backing up now.
And Hongan is in a lot of trouble.
Hongan's getting hung. Oh, I actually can't even make a joke
hung
out of
that.
I was going to say hung humiliated, but that doesn't even work. The Immortal catching up. And he does manage to escape. Hongan does.
Now, Hongan does not have a Nexus Tasteless, so he is like so completely all in at the moment.
Yeah,
Kisu on the other hand, even though they have similar probe counts, in fact, Hongan has a couple probes more. Kisu is actually getting better overall mining efficiency because he does have the 2 base. He does have the 2 Nexus now producing some probes as well.
You know, I got to say, I love the way he handled that rush. He was very patient with the Colossus. He had the Immortal out, and he said, all right, you know what? There's going to be so much action going on that if I can have this one Immortal and just get a few shots up, because Immortals fire pretty fast.
I can pretty decent DPS on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, compared to what a Colossus is going to do. Then I'm just going to get an edge here. And here we go once again.
Trying to pick off Colossi there. He has 2 very damaged ones. And Hongun going to be dead.
Oh, my God. I think Hongun's just about lost this. Uh-oh. Does manage to keep that Colossus alive while taking out Hongun's.
Hongun with 2 Colossus against 3 Colossus from a 2-baser. This is basically it for him.
Oh, nice. And he even uses the Stalkers, just catches up. Peace.
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 All right, well, Kisu really showing a lot of skill here to take down Hongun. But, you know, I do have to point out Hongun made a big mistake getting that Thermal Lance. If you're going to 1-base Colossus, there is no reason to Thermal Lance.
Oh, absolutely.
Makes the Nexus, if you just pump out 2 Colossus as quickly as possible with no Thermal Lance, all the rest of your minerals into Zealots, you will kill them.
You know you
Micro
absolutely
not
will.
required. But he definitely did make a mistake there getting that Colossus. I think he was... I don't know. He had the Observer, so he did know what's going on.
Well, I guess he just didn't know the right decision to make there. I mean, it's kind of a weird rush in weird positions, and it's against a player that's so solid. I mean, there was actually a window of time where it looked as though Sokisu was going to lose that rush, and I bet in most situations when Hongun does that, he probably does just win. But that's going to be it. TSL up with a 1-0 lead here. As this game is pretty much done. I mean,
it's certainly that.
Call me crazy, but I'm predicting the win here for the blue guy.
Hey, Hongun, where's your probes at? Oh, you don't have any. GG.
GG. Any minute now. GG. There it is. GG. So,
all right.
Cool game we saw there.
So Kisu taking on a matchup that he oftentimes has a lot of trouble with.
Yeah, I mean, this is off to a great start. I think that if there was a Protoss on Prime that was going to beat him, it would have been Hongun. And high five, high five.
What to see? Maybe AnyPro going to come out. People have been saying AnyPro, one of the best players on Prime.
Yeah, he's good. He's sort of...
we haven't really seen it yet. I haven't seen anything from that really impresses me, but we will see Tasteless. Hongun not very happy with that loss.
No, man. I mean, I don't blame the guy either.
Kisu is a beast. That is that.
Well, he just handled that rush so perfectly. We don't, in some of these games, especially with some of the Protosses, we don't see like superb micro. But in that game, his micro was
very, very
so good. Yeah.
On the other hand, when he went up the ramp with his Zealots, because he had an overwhelming amount of Zealots, right?
Right.
He actually started attacking, then he backed up. The Colossus were still hitting those. There's no reason to actually back up his Zealots. He lost critical damage there.
Yeah, he could have.
The thing is, he almost broke through Kisu a couple times. So I'm not saying he would have won if he hadn't done that, but that was definitely a mistake, and it definitely did cost him.
I think you're absolutely right. You know what I like about Sokisu is he just plays safe.
Yeah, the guy loves to play safe.
I guess everybody's for Warp Gate Rush, and that's what I'm going to do. He's like, no, wait a minute. I'm going to get ahead of the curve.
He wants to, yeah.
And, you know, he's basically one of the people that's actually figuring out PvP. So we're going to throw up a coach interview for you guys, kind of see what their thoughts are on, you know, what it's going to take to win this thing. So check it out.
저희 팀원 모두 정말 열심히 지금까지 스타2를 최고가 되기 위해 열심히 해왔고, 이번에 설 연휴를 또 맞이해서 휴식도 하고, 그리고 새로운 맵에 대한 연습도 충분히 지금 열심히 해왔기 때문에 이번 GSTL 좋은 성적을 거둘 거라고 예상을 합니다. 일단 첫 번째 맵이 사쿠라스 공원이기 때문에 그래도 아무래도 프로토스가 좋을 거라고 예상을 해서 일단 저희도 프로토스 카드를 선택을 했고요. 그리고 남은 이번에 GSTL에 쓰여지는 맵들이 아무래도 전에는 테란이 약간 강세인 맵들이 많았는데 그런 맵들 밸런스가 이제는 어느 정도 맞아 들어가기 때문에 저그나 프로토스 카드들도 테란 카드 못지않게 많이 사용을 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
처음 하는 대회인 만큼 우승을 목표로 열심히 준비를 했습니다. 그래서 우승이 목표입니다. 신상호 선수가 이전에 조텍 리그에서 올킬을 했기 때문에 신상호 선수를 가장 주목하고 있습니다.
All right, well, Kisu showing a lot of faith in Killer. Of course, they were on the same team Istro together in StarCraft 1, where Kisu helped out Killer, aka Songho, quite a bit.
Yeah, Killer, a guy
Showing
that
some team alliance.
we actually been on road trips with, good friends with. Very, very talented player.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Very good player. So, right now TSL has still a stellar lineup. They're going to have to dish out against Prime. Prime up to a bad start here.
Who are they going to choose?
The question is, when are they going to pull out Marine King?
Oh my, is that Bolt?
Is it Bolt?
I believe that's Bolt. Who just, by the way, won that spot, given up by Next Live Forever.
Yeah. Bolt Prime, a Warcraft 3 competitive player. And this is going to be interesting.
I got to tell you, Tasteless, I did not catch that tournament that he won, that little tiny tournament that got him that Codex spot, but I'm so surprised he won that. There was a lot of solid players in there, and his play during the up and down matches, I got to tell you the truth, did not impress me overly. So congratulations for sure to Bolt to be back in the GSL Codex.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he's got to offer. Sometimes we see these guys not play well, and then, they're gone for a month, and we think, he's back, maybe he's not going to do anything impressive, and of course, all of a sudden, he's just godlike.
It happens.
So it could happen in this case. We're going to see. Holt is an interesting pick, though. One of the things I'm asking myself is, when are they going to pick Marine King? Do they just save him for last?
I think so. He is far and away the best on Prime. And normally you do keep your best for last. He's kind of your anchor to the team, your catch-all. You're, okay, our best player's coming out. This is the best we got. If you can beat him, you win.
Yeah, that's actually quite true. So head-to-head here. Now, PBT is a good matchup here for Soki Su, but it's not as good as, for instance, his PBZ.
Yeah, no, his PBZ is actually silly. Well, he did lose one, but you're right. His
broken clock is right twice a day. Or wait a minute. All right, when I said that, I'm like,
tell me what that has to do with this situation?
I was, can we just start the cast over again?
You want to start with the team league?
Start the team league over, get Boyu back out there. The map is going to be Lost Temple. And that's going to be an interesting map, because it's a map we've had a lot of games on. Both these players have had a lot of experience on. I think, again, Soki Su probably going to be the favorite.
Yeah, I would say without any doubt.
Prime does,
Kisu is insanity good. This guy, what was it, top 8 this season in GSL. After 2 GSL breaks, because he did not make it through the qualifiers to some random cheesers. Bolt Prime, on the other hand, dropped down to Code A, only to win it back in actually what must have been quite spectacular fashion. But Kisu, he was a great Protoss versus Terran. That's what he was known for in StarCraft 1. And he kind of plays a similar style. It's very macro-based. It's very, I want to kill your attack and win style, which laid-back defensive styles, especially in StarCraft 2 right now, are awesome, because a lot of people, it's still kind of out there. It's starting to fade away a little bit, but there's just so many people that are just like attack, 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 attack.
Thank God that stopped.
It's definitely slowed down.
It's actually we start to see more of a proper RTS coming out. I lost my army, but now it's my turn to defend. And then he attacks it, and he's like, well, I lost my army, now it's my turn to defend. So thank God we have as much of that. The countdown started, so let's get ready for a TVP. Let's see if Bolt Prime could do this, or if it will be what we would normally predict. Soki Su getting a win. Let's find out.